welcome to Inside Russia. This is yet another daily update from Russia, as that is in my heart and in my mind. I'm physically in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. An interesting topic today. I figured that it's going to be interesting because I'm going to give you an update on what is happening in Russia, with the Russian economy, with the Russian industries. After 44 days after the start of the event, that has changed everything in my country. Mods, would you please give me 5x5 if you can hear Ian, see me well. Lorna, 5x5. Jan Prepper, 5x5. Thank you so much. As usual, two parts today. First part is my message, no comments. Then the second part is the comments and discussion and the prayer. But I want to do something different today. I would like to pray in the middle of the stream rather than at the end. We'll see what happens. Without further ado, let's jump right into the topic of today's discussion, well, today's message. My friends, so what is happening in the Russian economy right now? I made a few notes because it's a pretty complicated topic. And not just, I'm talking about the economy, about what is happening with the economy and so forth. Some things are not looking good at this point. And month and a half after the start of the event, we kind of start seeing the effects. I made a comparison with a tidal wave. Earthquake in the ocean creates tidal waves. Tidal wave goes into different directions towards closest islands or closest land. And if it's far in the ocean, it can go for hours and hours and hours. And on land, closest land, it might seem like everything is all right for a few hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. But the tidal wave out there is coming, and it's sure to hit the shores soon. Very same thing kind of happened in Russia. The earthquake happened on the 24th. It was pretty violent one, I would say. And it's causing the effects. And now we are seeing small tidal waves already hit Russia. Well, I would say small waves, not tidal waves. And the larger wave or waves are still out there, but they're getting close. A few industries have been affected. And I would like to tell you what is happening in a few industries right now. Okay, I can tell you about industries that I see. In one of the industries I am a part of. My company, this is where it works, and I'm seeing what's in the industry on the inside, so I can tell you that. I would like to talk about the industries that are imploding. By imploding, I mean that they have been hurt a lot, okay, and their future is troublesome. Not very good understanding of. Well, there's understanding that the industries have been changed quite a bit. Have been affected and have been hit, okay? The reasons are absolutely different. There are sanctions that have been placed upon Russian economy, Russian government, Russian companies. by different institutions, by other countries' governments, by other countries' companies, and so forth. There is in some industries just a lack of demand, supply and demand structure, internal structure changed. Okay, so which ones? First of all, the financial sector of Russian Federation has been hit. How do I say that? Tremendously. Has been hit really, really, really hard. Many banks have been, I cannot say have been destroyed, but have been hit, and at this point it is yet to be understood what their future is. Some banks, large Russian banks, they've been turned off SWIFT. It means that they cannot make any payments in and out of Russia. Okay, only inside Russia. Some banks have been placed on personal sanctions from the West, basically from everyone, meaning that they are they cannot be touched by any other financial institutions. That no payments can be done with these banks. Now, large Russian banks, one is the largest one is Sberbank. It's considered a state bank. There's another one, VTB. They've been, I think they will be helped by their government. Uh, you know, financial aid will be provided. There are some large banks such as Alpha Bank, Открытие, the open bank. They're huge as well. They are in Russia's top 10 banks. They're private banks, okay? And most likely they will not be given financial aid from the government. And what will happen to them? Not clear. They might go under. That's just my idea, but my thought. It's not a prediction or anything, but it's really bad. The situation is not looking good for the entire banking sector of Russia, and some uh, system banks have been hit really, really hard. So I think it's safe to say that Russian financial industry is imploding. Another industry that's been hit really hard is manufacturing, especially machine manufacturing, plane manufacturing, car manufacturing. You got to understand, these industries are huge. They consist of so many production facilities, so many factories, so many hundreds of thousands are employed in the companies, from design engineers to people actually who are in the planes, in the plants, assemble things. And it turns out that a lot of Russian manufacturers have relied heavily upon foreign parts and foreign technologies. Russian plane manufacturing relied heavily. It means that Russian planes mostly consist of foreign technologies, electronics, chips, systems, and many imported parts. Basically, the production has been halted because it's unclear where to get the technologies and foreign parts anymore. Same thing with truck and car manufacturers. They are less dependent on foreign technologies and foreign parts, but still very, very dependent. I heard that a company called KAMAZ, huge Russian trucks, they stopped for a while. They're trying to secure new supplies of technologies and foreign parts from China, most likely. But they're in trouble. The demand for their trucks now has increased tremendously. They can manufacture as many trucks as possible, and the trucks will be bought. The thing is, the question is, will be able to. Same thing with car manufacturers. I heard that a few large plants they simply stopped operating. They call it they sent everyone to vacation for a couple weeks, and I think that's they're trying to replace the foreign technology and foreign parts with other technologies. Most construction, construction of. Would you please, mods, would you please give me information if it's buffering or not? Can you hear, see me well right now? Because I have troubles here, it seems like. How's the picture quality? Anyway, civil construction is one of the industries that has historically been absolutely huge in Russia. Civil construction, there are so many apartment blocks and so many houses under construction for the past few years, 10 years in Moscow, in major cities. There are so many shopping centers, office buildings. Civil construction has been a real driver of Russian economy. There are so many people involved, and historically, Russia has been inviting migrants, worker migrants from nearby countries such as Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, to work at in the construction industry. Okay, because that's very heavy labor, not very highly paid, and but needed, required, and there was plenty of jobs, and Uzbeks and Kyrgyz and Tajiks came and they worked, and then they would send money back home. They would take money back home. There's a problem with construction right now, huge problem. The industry is quickly imploding because of one single reason: little demand. You see what happened? The prices for the materials for constructions, such as concrete, such as wood, iron, rebars, and things like that, everything. Prices in the past 45 days have skyrocketed. Some materials, the prices have gone up by 50%, some by 100%, some by 150. It's really hard. It's to understand. The prices went up. I'm not saying for everything in the Russian economy. No, selectively for some materials, and I think it's especially wood and I'm not a specialist in the civil construction, but I heard that it's terrible. Okay, and right now, think about this: around half of the investment projects, large construction projects, are either frozen or owners are thinking of freezing their construction projects because the prices of construction have gone up tremendously. And demand is still there. Perhaps there's less demand because people, you know, started making less money. And although a lot of people trying to save their money from inflation, buying property, buying real estate, that probably a good buy right now. But so many people will not be able to afford to pay current prices with the increased prices of materials. And that is affecting the civil construction industry a lot. And I think it's easy to say that it's imploding. Okay. Another industry that has been hit real hard is oil production, especially oil. I'm not sure how it's called, discovery, the new projects of oil production. There've been a few large oil fields in Russia under development, and Russia has historically always has behind in technologies of oil development, oil extraction, behind the West. And it always imported technologies. I don't really know why. I'm far from that industry. But Russia tried to invite foreign partners, famous companies such as BP, British Petroleum, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips. So they would come into Russia, they would become partners, and they would bring their technologies, among others, among money. And all companies have left Russian market or announced that they leave in the projects. And there's been a ban in the West onto oil extraction technologies. And as far as I understand, don't quote me on that, as far as I understand, most, if not all, projects have been frozen. The new projects, the construction of new extraction facilities have been frozen. It is safe to say that the industry is imploding. Okay. Now, the last one, at least that I know of, is energy construction facilities industry, energy infrastructure and construction. That's my business. That's what I know quite well. I'm in it. I've been telling you that our company has not been doing good, and it's not doing good still. How do I say that? Our industry is imploding. Yes. What happens is many construction projects, infrastructure construction projects, have been frozen, placed on pause, canceled, due to, you see, energy infrastructure is in Russia is the industry that relies a lot on money from the government, subsidies we call them, relies a lot on money from the banks, investment money, and money from the investors. Because building an energy facility, a power plant that produces electricity, is not cheap. It's tens, sometimes very often hundreds of millions of dollars. And in order to build something like that, you need to have access to very long and cheap money. And it usually, money like that come from special banks, and the banks are subsidized or projects are subsidized. That's the very basic thing. That's the energy infrastructure. And the Russian government has actually been helping the industry. And now it's unclear how much money left, because all these Western sanctions have been placed upon Russian government. Gold and currency and foreign currency reserves in Russia, a lot of them have been frozen out there in the West. And it's simply not understood how well Russian government can help this industry, the energy construction facility, the energy infrastructure. And I'm talking about transmission, distribution, substations, and energy production. it is very clear that many companies, many banks, many investors are taking it's better be safe than sorry approach, and at least at this point they're putting the projects in my industry it's called unpause. Okay, so to wait, so to speak, some time to see where the wind blows from, how, what's going to happen with the economy what's going to happen with the situation in near future, in 3 months, 6 months, and so forth. Meanwhile, experts, professionals who build power stations are highly skilled and highly paid. I'm talking about the engineers, design engineers, construction engineers, construction construction workers. It's not McDonald's people who work at McDonald's. Okay, that can easily be taken and trained very very quickly and paid like minimum wage. In order to get to have a qualified engineer, he or she has to go to school for at least 6 years, another 12 years to get experience, and it's like 18 years, and only after like 15, 18 years that's going to be high class special professional that can actually build power stations. And salaries are quite high for engineers. And what's happening now is that the companies all of a sudden that construct all of a sudden face the situation where a lot of the projects have been placed on. I see something's up. I think I caught just in time. My back. Would you please give me 5x5? Not seeing myself on the screen. Hang on. In case you can hear me. Okay. You can hear me, right? So basically, I'm telling you that this industry that we're in, has very highly paid, at least by Russian standards, highly paid professionals. And if, for example, our company relies on revenues from ongoing projects, and if some of the projects stopped and we stopped getting revenues, then we cannot pay salaries of our engineers because we simply, we don't have any money coming in, and the shareholders must pay out of their pocket, which is not going to happen in the long run. It might happen for a month or a couple months, but that's it. And what's happened now in my company, we were forced to send most people to, switch to a 3-day work week. Not to fire them, but to cut their time that they work significantly, and accordingly, to the time, to cut their pay. And for one simple reason, a few of our projects stopped. In Russia, we rely on a couple projects going in Kazakhstan because we're an international market. And that's really keeping us afloat, alive. If it wasn't for the Kazakhstan projects, we'd be dead in 2 months. Okay, but we're half dead at this point. We're exploring new markets such as Uzbekistan, but it's not looking well. It's not looking well. And I'm not just talking about my company. Our competitors are in the same situation. Some of the projects were frozen, have been frozen, and the latest that I know, the engineers start flooding freelance market. The engineers who have been either fired or who have been sent home for a few days, for example, they work less now, they get out there and try to get extra job in the marketplaces. Okay, Russian largest headhunting company called Headhunter.ru, online headhunting company, has just released statistics that it's been hit with extra requests for work, about 95% more than the last month. It just tells you that this is the beginning of a huge crisis in the energy construction facilities, energy infrastructure industry. And it's very safe to say that the industry is imploding. It's not dead, like none of the industries that I've mentioned are dead, but they all have taken a huge hit. Now, I'm talking about the planning. There are different like levels of, how do I say that right? It's called, in Russia, it's called the horizon of planning. It means how far you see and plan for. There is short horizon for 1/2 months. There is long, medium size. Anyway, about 3 to 6 months horizon of planning, and there's another horizon on planning up to couple 3 years. Okay, that's a long term. Right now, we are in a very short-term horizon planning. We are seeing things that are just start happening, 1/2 months, and we already are seeing things happening. Okay, just it's been like month and a half, and we're already seeing people getting either laid off or their time. They get much more free time because, you know, they work less and they start hitting the marketplaces and the companies that help to get extra job. The problem is that, okay, we have more people looking for jobs, but we have fewer jobs. Okay, we have fewer projects, and they have no place to be employed. Okay, if we look in, if we will look into the medium 3 to 6 months horizon planning, that's when the tidal wave hits us. I've been talking about. That's when the economy gets hit really, really hard. I would say like 4 months, 3, 4 months from now, towards the end of summer. And this is when we're gonna see like huge, huge impact and effects. Much, much bigger than now. Now it's just the beginning. And I will come back in one of my streams. I will come back to this topic in a few months, okay? To compare how that is then from now, what I'm talking about. And then, of course, there's long-term planning horizon, couple years. Then it's hard to say what's gonna happen then, okay? But the thing is, it's not gonna be good. The question is how far not good, like how much not good that's gonna be. Now, a lot of people are saying that China will help us out big time. China is our hope. China is our savior. In terms of technologies, they're saying, hey, look, we know that we've been cut of technologies from the West. You know, car manufacturing, plane manufacturing, electronics, pretty much all the industries that use electronics, chips, microchips, boards, they suffer a lot because they cannot get any more supplies. That many people are saying, many experts are saying, every like all people who support this military operation, all of them saying, "Don't worry, China will bail us out. China will bail us out financially. They'll give us money if needed, and they will give us technologies because they're so advanced." Well, I think that's a huge mistake. I think that China has not given anyone technologies. China has been stealing technologies all along, and it's not in the business of helping anyone, especially Russia, because Russia is land where they just want to come in and do a land grab, okay? And they certainly are not interested in us getting stronger. They're interested in us and Russia getting weaker so they can bargain more, they can grab of our land more easier, you know. And they certainly not going to give us any technologies whatsoever. They might sell us products, yes, and it's not going to be a fair sale and a fair trade because obviously, you know, we're in a position. Russia is not in the position to, you know, pay less, so to speak. It's in a position to pay more because China is the only place we can get stuff from now. And definitely they're not going to help us financially. They have already announced that they they either already stopped or they plan to stop buying Russia's oil, and they are increasingly under pressure from the West to make sure that they don't sell anything to Russia, like basically to place their own sanctions upon Russia, okay? And I think Chinese will be trying to navigate in between the West and Russia, but certainly no technologies are coming from China. That's just crazy to think that China is coming in to bail us out. I mean, I don't know what people are thinking. I have no clue. But that's quite a popular opinion. Okay, that's pretty much it. This is the message for today. That's what I wanted to tell you about the industries that have started imploding, shrinking tremendously. I hope you find it interesting. Now, I would like to turn on the chat of this live stream, and I'd like to thank my wonderful moderators for joining. Lorna, Mommy, Robert Bates, Yarn Prepper, Pinball, Julie F, Bob S, and Harry Potman. Thank you guys. I'm making chat for subscribers only, and it's 60 seconds. Looks like we are on, and I would like to ask you to make something to do something different today. I was discussing with the mods, and let's try this. Let's try the prayer right after the message, just about now. I would like to ask everyone to ask you to join me in prayer, all believers, non-believers alike. It doesn't matter in my eyes. It doesn't absolutely. You are the same, believers, non-believers. You know, I've said it many times. I would like to do a quick prayer. Thank you so much, dear God. Thank you so much for giving us a wonderful day. Thank you for putting food on our tables. Thank you for giving roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding with wonderful people, loved ones, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, parents, families, friends, colleagues, just good people in general. Thank you. I want to ask you to help Ukraine and everyone who is in Ukrainian land, people who live in Ukraine, Ukrainian soldiers, Russian soldiers. I just want everyone to be alive and stay safe. I don't want anyone to be killed. I would like to ask you to send angels to all people, all regardless who they are in Ukraine, and put them, keep them out of harm's way. I would like to ask you to stop this bloodshed as soon as possible by putting sense into the people's heads who are responsible for making decisions on all sides, on Russian side, on the Ukrainian side, on American side, on all sides. Please put sense into their heads, put love into their hearts, open their hearts and fill them with love, and open their eyes so people can see what they've done and they just can scream in horror and they stop this thing as soon as possible and work out all the problems diplomatically from that time on. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please send angels to help my country get rid of the demons that hijacked it. Please have angels run my country and make it shine, make it a good neighbor, good member of international community. Please give our all much wisdom and much sense so we can bring up our kids in a way that when they grow up, they never fight with one another. They build a peaceful world with no wars, no conflicts, no fights, and they're just friends to one another and partners. Please give us this wisdom. I would like to ask you, those who are helping Ukraine, Ukrainians right now, people who have been displaced from their homes, people who were forced to flee, like regular people who are just doing day-to-day life, and all of a sudden this event happened and they had to run for their lives. Please help those who help them in Ukraine, in Europe, in other places where those people are, in all over the world. Help the ones who are helping with their hands, with efforts, relief efforts, with money, with prayers, and so forth. Please help everyone who is praying with me in the stream, or just watching in the stream, or present in the stream. Please have their prayers answered and wishes granted. Now I would like to pray for all people who are sick. Please help them. People who just have troubles with health and need your help. Please send every single person in the world who needs your help with healing. Please send an angel and help them. I would like to mention a few people who asked to be mentioned. Shay, Rafaela, From, and her daughter Anna, William Schaffner, Elena, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Natasha, Rebecca Witzman, Melissa Defoe Asanbaki, Bas Semen, Kyle and his wife, Anne Mary B, Paula McDonald, and Jane Hancock. Also special mentioning and special request for this kid Jean-Paul, who's still in coma. Please, his family needs him home. Please send him help, touch his heart and touch his head with your hands so he gets better. He comes out of coma, he's alive, and he goes back home soon. Thank you, dear God. Amen. My friends, thank you so much for joining me in prayer. I'm not finishing up the stream. I want to converse. I want to hear what you got to say about. First of all, please comment my message. If you think that, what do you think about Russian industries imploding, shrinking, decreasing? Perhaps some of your economists have prognoses for that. It would be interesting to hear. What do you think? Yeah, just give me a second, man. My connection, like I'm streaming okay, everything's fine here, but my Wi-Fi is acting up. I have to restart it. You see, it's really strange again, because this time I pray in the middle of my live stream, and still something is happening. It's not with the picture, it's not with the streaming, but it's myself trying to see myself on the computer screen, you know. This is something else. I don't really know what's going on, you know. It beats me. Not seeing anything right now. I had to restart my router. Well, at least you can see me well. That really makes me feel good. It's okay for that if I don't see myself. It's a bummer that I'm not seeing any comments. That's the purpose of this whole thing, for me to turn the comments on and see what you gotta say, you know. Oh, there you go. It showed up finally. So now I have access to comments and we'll be reading a little bit. Not so fast. Not so fast because it's still not working. Crazy. Anyway, I'm not really seeing what's going on, so therefore I will tell you a little personal update on myself. That's a bummer. It's too bad it's not my apartment, it's not my router, it's not my internet. I can't even call internet provider and, you know, try to fix things because it's not mine, so to speak. I have no access to the provider. Personal update. I'm not seeing the comments, I'm not seeing myself, but I'm pretty sure that I'm streaming all right. Because I'm streamed from a mobile network, from telephone. That's a different system. I have been doing fairly well. I miss my family. I've been fasting for a couple days. Yesterday was almost without food, and today 100% no food and no water. So that's like complete dry fast. Feeling excellent. Feeling really good. Feeling better than before. I was hoping I would do something like this in Uzbekistan, and every time I come here, I'm, how do I say that, less interrupted. Like, when I'm around family, it's always my wife cooks, and it's always, you know, things happen. It's always like running around and always feeling hungry, and I cannot really allocate personal time for my diet. You know, if I want to go on diet, on fasting, it's much harder. Here, I am just with myself all the time. You know, I control myself what I eat. I cook for myself and so forth. So it's much easier. Let's put it this way. You know, my head is much more clear, and I'm feeling back to Uzbekistan again, like I was 10 years. It's the same thing, because all I had in my video about Fergana, I told you that all I had was work, basically. I worked, and free time, like after work, I would just go on walks. And on the weekends, I would go to bazaars, or I would go to the mountains. I would get a driver who would take me to the mountains, and it was pretty cool. It's kind of same thing right now. Not my most favorite place to be. I'd rather be with my family, but you know, what can you do? Gotta do what you gotta do now. I finally am seeing the comments. Thank you. I'm seeing myself. Something happened to Wi-Fi and it's back on. And Ellen Townsend says no tea today because I'm fasting. No tea. I'm not drinking anything, you know, including tea. Actually, this is the first day of dry fast, and I have no plan. I just take it day by day, feeling really good right now. Not hungry, not thirsty. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. I would like to go and have my blood drawn tomorrow to do complete test here, blood test, because I have a clinic right next door. So basically, check all my, uh, not vitals, but like blood, like everything in my blood. Like in Russia, we call it extended analysis. Okay, see what's going on inside of me. I see a couple super chats from Wayne. Long time no see, Wayne. Thank you so much. Thanks very much for your words. Stay safe. I hope you're enjoying your Starbucks cup. You know, I sent it to you just in time because guess what? No more Starbucks in Russia. Who would have thought? Man, who would have thought? What was I sending you that in the fall, I think in September or October, and it took a long time to be delivered, to be mailed to you. But who would have thought that 6 months later, I wouldn't be able to send anything like that? I probably would ask a cup to be sent to me, to be mailed to me from you, you know. Just so, it's crazy. Anyway, Wayne, good to see you. Reese Gray. Reese Gray, I'm sorry. Reese Gray. Hello from Canada, Mr. Papila. Hello there. It's unfortunate this will hurt working Russians so much. It's going to impact all economies. My job will be affected due to the cost of nickel rising. Yes, that's true. May peace and prosperity to return to all. Reese, this is what's gonna happen. The tidal wave happened here in Russia, okay? Not tidal, but the earthquake. But it's so strong that the tidal wave is going to hit the shores, and that's Russia, is the shore. But it's gonna get over Russia, and it's gonna travel further. And it's gonna travel and hit all around the world, and including the Western countries, non-Western countries, doesn't matter, okay? It's gonna be incredibly, incredibly bad for everyone. Hugely bad, or simply just a little bad, you know. I know, Russia's largest nickel producer, actually the Norilsk Nickel is our customer. I know that company quite well, and I know. It's just not good. Tidal wave. Tidal wave. Tidal wave. What's a good one? John C. Tidal wave are caused by the moon, water displacement from earthquake, tsunami. Shoot. John C., thank you for clarifying, because you're absolutely right. I've been saying all along, okay, hope you can see me now. This is something crazy going on with internet here, because you see, when I was looking for an apartment in Tashkent, the first thing, number one thing I was checking for internet connection. And when I checked this place, the signal here inside of this apartment, the signal was really, really strong. And I'm talking about mobile signal. And Wi-Fi was really good too. No problem. And Wi-Fi worked fine for 5 or 6 days. I remember I was streaming like on highest settings possible, just like in Moscow. And I was like, wow, this is great. No buffering or anything. But then just Yeah, I know. I know what to do. Somehow my cell phone signal is lost. It goes from 4G to 3G. Once it's 3G, forget it starts buffering. Okay, but gosh, I go and reset it, and it's back to LTE 4G. But now my Wi-Fi acting up at evening. In the morning, it's fine. In the evening, it's crazy, and it's not evening anymore. It's what is it again? No, I'm fine here. It's just Wi-Fi. It's not the evening, so everyone is sleeping here. It's like 1 a.m. So Wi-Fi usage is not heavy. And there are not too many apartments here. This is just 4-story building, you gotta understand. And there are very few people around me, like 5 or 6 routers, that's it. So it's crazy. Um, so, anyway, mods, give me 10 extra minutes because I've been running back and forth. You know, I'd like to read at least a few, a few comments. Lorna, yeah, towers resetting all the time. Like, how fast? How often can they reset? Every 5 minutes? I mean, Edmund Lively, hi there. Start chasing those moon contracts. How didn't I think of this before? My God, everything's okay. We are saved. Because, hey, by the way, my yesterday's message about moon program, that's 100% legit. Vladimir Putin did say that, okay? I would not dare to say something that he didn't say because I'd be in trouble. So I clearly follow his messages. And guess what happened today? European Space Agency announced that it's cutting off Russia off moon exploration program. Okay, so I guess he knew yesterday, and then he made a counter announcement, like predicted the announcement of Europeans a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah, we will start chasing those moon contracts. Moon needs infrastructure, and I'm sure that it's gonna be done. You know, Alan Loveday, 17, 18 pounds. Thank you. Hope you keep well and keep spreading the word. God bless. Thank you so much. Thank you. White Knight, 72, 76. Hey, Constantine, it's nice to keep you all us informed. I really like your sarcasm yesterday. Keep safe. I got many messages today about sarcasm yesterday. Solar panels on the moon, yeah. Golden Griffon. Wow, Golden Griffon is the very usual suspect. Been with me since pretty much day one, since early COVID times, I remember. Thanks for keeping coming back. Robert says drink water or we won't have to worry about buffering. No, I will not drink water today. It's feeling fine. Tomorrow, perhaps, it depends on how I feel. I usually go by the way I feel. If I feel okay, body sends me signals, you know. If I feel okay, I usually keep it up to 2 days, sometimes rarely 3 days. 3 days without water it's stretching it, you know. It becomes really hard on day 3. Okay, all you think about is water. All you want to do is drink water, and water becomes the tastiest, the most unbelievable thing they can. Forget about food, forget about things you love. If you go 2 days without water, water tastes like heaven. You don't want anything else in your life but fresh water. Oh, thanks for $14 from Canada, Brian Cameron. Thank you so much. No message, but this is message strong enough. Appreciate it. Lawrence Daniels, drink water. Daniels, drink water, not climate. You know what? In the height of the summer, I did 3 days without water here in Tashkent, and every night I was actually jogging. I ran, I think, a couple miles, and I felt absolutely fantastic. Right now it's peanuts because it's April. It's not too hot. It's not too it's not too dry. It's okay. So I've done it before in this climate, and it was tough, but it's doable. Okay, the health benefits are incredible of this thing, at least for me. It's not medical advice. Don't ever try to repeat that after me. Go and consult your doctor if you want. Larry Mint, thank you so much for $5. Message is strong enough. Now I'm thirsty, says Yarn Prepper. That's pretty cool. Lisa Comrain, I'm too nervous of Telegram. Why? Telegram is much safer than WhatsApp, and I can discuss certain things on Telegram that cannot be discussed on telephone and on WhatsApp, and that's this certain people tell me it's okay. You know what I mean? So don't be nervous of Telegram. It's fairly safe. Thanks, Andrei Mogosen. About China, it's the world's biggest producer, but most of the machines' production are Western made and controlled. And about sanctions, the majority will be for 5 years, 10 years, and more. Aeroflot can be considered dead. I agree with everything except for Aeroflot. Aeroflot has a fleet of new planes, I think Boeings. It's either Airbus or Boeing, and its fleet can last a long time. So I don't think it's going to be dead anytime soon. Looks like I lost myself again. Good message, Andrei. I agree with you that China is the biggest producer, but you know what? In the recent 10, 15 years, China has developed and acquired own technologies, and you cannot say that China is technology free and just Western manufacturing factory. No, it's not true. China has been, advancing, so to speak. Hang on, I'll check. Yep, things are good here. So China is advanced enough these days, okay? But I also agree with you that the sanctions are here for 10 years, 5 years or more, depending on the political situation, of course. Okay, but I also think that the sanctions are for a long time, and the Russian people have indelible mark on them for a long time. That's also something that you didn't say, and I'm saying. But I don't think that Aeroflot is dead anytime soon. They have many planes, and worst comes to worst, they can cannibalize planes to use for spare parts. This talk has been going on here in Russia. And G, exciting news about going back to the moon. Hopefully not going back to using newspaper photo. That's a good one. Saw you on Nikki Proshin's live stream. Yeah, I gotta give him a call tomorrow. We're gonna do something together. That's a good one. And very good one. Thank you. Made me laugh. Robert Holland, what is the Russian view on renewable energy generation? I cannot tell you the Russian view. I cannot give you the Russian view. I can give you my own view. Not for Russia, because natural gas is so cheap in Russia that any renewable source of energy is automatically, energy from the renewable source automatically costs more than to get it from gas, natural gas, and especially from nuclear, from atom. Okay, atom is the cheapest one, purest one, the cleanest one. As long as the nuclear power stations don't blow up, we're okay. So Russia has so much cheap electricity, cheap heat, cheap steam, then it doesn't make any sense for us to switch to renewables. Exercise without water leads to rhabdomyolysis, and it's deadly if not treated. Donna, well, I am right here. I'm not dead. I exercised. Well, I don't live without water. I drink so much water. Like, I'm a water drinker, okay? But sometimes I go fasting, dry fasting for a day or a couple days or 3 days. And it's controlled, okay? It depends on how I feel. I do not dehydrate, like, huge deal. You know what I mean? If I start feeling like I'm dehydrated, of course I drink. So I'm alive and well. It has very good therapeutic effect on me. John JMN. I'm sorry, John JMN from Poland, right? Hi, Konstantin. I'm living in Krakow. Love your blogs, helping humanity here. Thank you so much. Thank you. My heart is in Sri Lanka. Needs a Moon Milkway project. How's that going? John, thank you so much. Every time I hear good words from a person from Poland, Czech, Lithuania, Latvia, touches my heart always. Thank you so much. Thanks. Andrei, another 20-year message. On China, you're right. They are advancing more and more, but will they risk cutting off Western markets? Yes, that's a big question. And this is what I'm making an emphasis on. First of all, they don't want Russia to be strong. They want us as weak as possible. They want to wipe their feet off us, okay? And second, they are also don't want to jeopardize the ties with the Western company, the United States, England, huge markets, especially the United States. It's the biggest market, okay? On Aeroflot, dead internationally. Oh, that's what you mean. Yes, dead internationally, yeah, that's right. Taking leased planes by force, cut them out from the international travel world. Russia has been cut out of international travel world already as we speak, because not just for the planes, but for whatchamacallit, for European countries, most countries around Russia. If you look at the map, you will see that many countries they have cut off their airspace for us. Even if we had our own planes, if they belonged to Russian airlines, so to speak, still we would